These cops are right here. Bro, there's a shooting at the school, and these cops are telling everybody to leave, dude, while everybody's here trying to pick up their kids.
New details continue to emerge about the shooting at Robb Elementary School in Uvalde, Texas. The incident on May 24th left 21 dead and 17 wounded. In the days following, authorities gave differing accounts of what happened, raising questions about how law enforcement responded. The rampage continued for 77 minutes before officers killed the shooter. Using a timeline from Texas Department of Public Safety Director Stephen McCraw, mapping, and additional footage from the scene, here's what we know so far. In some cases, timing is approximate. Shortly after 11 a.m. on May 24th, 18-year-old Salvador Ramos allegedly shot his 66-year-old grandmother in the face at their home. At 11:28, the gunman crashed into a ravine near Robb Elementary. A teacher outside witnessed the crash and went inside to get her phone. Ramos then allegedly exited the car and opened fire on 2 people outside the funeral home across the street. Neither was injured, according to McCraw. At 11:30, the teacher went back outside to call 911 and report the crash. But while speaking to the dispatcher, she saw a man approaching the school with a gun. She ran inside and closed the door behind her, thinking it would lock automatically, the teacher's lawyer told ABC News.
That door is supposed to always be locked. She runs into a classroom right to her right, and that's when she starts to hear pop, 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 just really fast.
A minute later, Ramos allegedly jumped over a fence and moved towards the school while firing at the building. Meanwhile, a Uvalde school district officer who heard the call arrived at the school.
That officer drove immediately to the area, sped to what he thought was the man with a gun, to the back of the school, which turned out to be a teacher, and not the suspect. In doing so, he drove right by the suspect, who was hunkered down behind a vehicle, where he began shooting at the school.
Soon after, Ramos entered the school through the same door on the building's northwest side, which was closed but unlocked, according to Texas DPS, who confirmed the account from the teacher's attorney. From there, he walked 20 to 30 feet through the school, turned right down a hallway, and entered either classroom 111 or 112, which are connected. About a minute before the gunman entered the building, an employee triggered an internal alert system. A spokesperson for Raptor Technologies, the company that makes the app, told ABC News.
At 11:33, the suspect begins shooting into room 111 or 112. It's not possible to determine from the video angle that we have at this point in time that he shot more than 100 rounds based on the audio evidence at that time.
2 minutes later, 3 Uvalde officers entered the school, soon followed by 3 more and a deputy county sheriff, while other officers surrounded the building, according to McCraw.
The 3 initial police officers that arrived went directly to the door, and 2 received grazing wounds at that time from the suspect.
And people began to gather outside the school. At 11:58, some students were seen exiting through the windows.
Somebody jump out the window.
Oh, the kids. They're getting the kids out.
I'm ready. I have to.
At 12:03, more officers entered the school and met in the hallway, bringing the total number of law enforcement in the building up to 19. While this happened, someone made an 83-second 911 call from inside room 112. The same person called back less than 10 minutes later, reporting that multiple people were dead, McCraw said.
We do have a child online. Maybe room 12. Are we able to... Is there anybody inside of the building at this time? Child is advising he is in the room full of victims at this moment.
At 12:16, the same caller in room 112 called back again to report that some students were still alive, according to McCraw.
8 to 9 children.
At that time, U.S. Border Patrol Tactical Unit was on the scene with shields and other equipment.
At 12:21, the suspect fired again, was believed to be at the door. Law enforcement moved down the hallway.
The 911 caller in room 112 asked for police to be sent in, making the same request a few minutes later, according to McCraw. At 12:50 p.m., 80 minutes after the teacher's first 911 call, tactical officers entered the room using keys from a janitor. They shot and killed the gunman in room 111, sources told ABC News. The incident was the worst mass shooting at an American public school in nearly a decade, and has left many wondering whether officers acted appropriately. In March of this year, local law enforcement in Uvalde received training in ways to respond to a situation like this. Local law enforcement has changed its account of the events multiple times since the incident.
There was a brave Consolidated Independent School District resource officer that approached him, engaged him.
It was reported that a school district police officer confronted the suspect that was making entry. Not accurate. He walked in unobstructed initially.
3 days after the shooting, McCraw said that officers waited to enter the room because they believed that the active shooter situation had ended.
Obviously, based upon the information we have, there were children in that classroom that were at risk, and it was, in fact, still an active shooter situation. And for the benefit of hindsight, where I'm sitting now, of course it was not the right decision. It was the wrong decision, period. There's no excuse for that.
Law enforcement is investigating why the school door didn't lock. The Justice Department is currently reviewing law enforcement's response.